What's up, everyone? Welcome into Dodger Heads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, and this is the home of the 2020 World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. And we're coming at you today with a little bit of news from yesterday, and I kind of want this video to be a farewell to a guy that I think is probably the most underappreciated Dodger of this run of NL West titles that the Dodgers have had over the last decade, it seems like, and that's Pedro Baez. Now, if you missed it, news broke on Wednesday night that Pedro Baez had agreed to a 2-year contract with the Houston Astros, of all teams. Unfortunate for him. But as I was thinking about Baez and seeing the reaction of Dodger fans on social media, most of it was good riddance, get out of here, he's slow, yada, yada, yada. But I kind of wanted to send Baez off with a reminder of just how good he was. Now, I would argue again that he's been the most underappreciated Dodger since coming up with the team. He's just a guy that I don't think got the due or the respect that his numbers and his performance deserved. Was he perfect? Of course not. Was he an all-star level elite reliever? No, but he was durable, he was consistent, and honestly, he was probably better than you remember. Now, Baez came up with the Dodgers in 2014, only team he has played for in his career, and this is a guy who averaged 50 to 55 appearances every single season since then. His ERA, you might be surprised to know, 3.03. So he was basically a 3.00 ERA pitcher for the last 6 years for the Dodgers, and yet this is a guy that fans can't wait to run out of town. Now, what's fascinating to look back is to compare his performance with some other guys, and since 2014, Baez's numbers are actually identical to the newly re-signed Blake Treinen. Baez has pitched 43 less innings, but he has a higher strikeout per 9, lower walk per 9, and the exact same ERA. Okay, since 2014, Baez has a better ERA than Sean Doolittle, Wade Davis, Will Smith, and he's only .03 behind Brad Hand. Again, I'm not saying today in 2021 that Pedro Baez is in the same tier as Brad Hand or Blake Treinen, but it's more so just to give you context so we can be content that Baez is gone, but let's not forget the contribution that he made. Okay, this is a guy who's been a key piece in one of the strongest bullpens in baseball for the last 5 years. Now, I know the Dodger bullpen gets a lot of flack, but remember, the Dodger bullpen has been top 8 in ERA for the past 5 seasons with 4 top 5 finishes. And aside from Kenley Jansen, the only guy that you could pencil in that group for that stretch was Baez. In fact, for some stretches, Baez was actually the team's best option. He led the team in wins above replacement among relievers in 2018 and 2019 and has been in the top 4 of that category every year since 2015. Now, all of that said, I'd rather have the guys that the Dodgers have added. I'd rather have Treinen, obviously. I like Corey Knebel. I like the guys they're linked to, a guy like Kirby Yates. And obviously, I feel for Baez having to go play for the Astros. But I'm saying, all I'm asking is that if, as Dodger fans, we can appreciate Baez on the way out. Was he slow? Yes. Was he perfect? No. Did Dave Roberts kind of mess with him a number of times? Absolutely. But in an era when relievers feel like a roller coaster, in an era where it feels like you never know if you can trust one guy 1 year to the next, Baez was a constant on a Dodger team that won tons of baseball games. He was always available. He never complained. And while he wasn't elite, he was really, really good. So while I hope he struggles as an Astro, I will always appreciate what Pedro Baez did while he was here with the Dodgers. What do you think about Pedro Baez? Am I wrong? Am I misguided? Was he not underappreciated? Was he overappreciated? Was he terrible? As always, let us know below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel here, Dodger Blue 1958. Ring the notification bell. As we've said, Monday night, 8 p.m., we're going live with Dodger Heads. We'll be giving out a Dodgers World Series hat as well as a Dodgers World Series DVD. Make sure you're following us on Twitter and Instagram at Dodger Blue 1958 because we got DVD giveaways there as well. And as always, before we go, let's listen to the man Vin Scully tell him the truth.
The best team holding a trophy high in the air. The Los Angeles Dodgers, champions of the baseball world.